Alright, so I'm going to open up LRGB combination, and I'm going to make sure this is checked, the L part here, and in L I'm going to add the HA image, so the clone, so H clone, okay, and I'm going to uncheck RGB. Now we can play with the chrominance noise reduction here. So the whole point of doing this is to have a smoother image, right? So I'm going to actually check this noise reduction tool, and here we can you could play with those if you want to. I usually leave those by default, but I like to play with the lightness and saturation. If you lower the lightness, it's going to make the result actually brighter. So we'll leave it as default for now, just to see what it looks like. To show you guys the difference between making the lightness, by default and lower, I'm going to make a copy of this again. I'm going to apply this to the copy, and then we'll try with a different settings for the lightness. Okay, so as you can see here, it's clean, it's super clean, but the colors are really a bit dark, a bit too dark for my taste. So that's why you play with the settings here. If I make the lightness to, let's say, 240, let's try, I can apply it to another clone once again and see the difference. There you go. So as you can see, there's a huge difference depending on what you choose for the slider in terms of lightness. So it's kind of a, you have to play with those settings a bit and choose what you like. For example, for me this is way too dark, so I'm not going to pick it for sure. And now this is way too light, so I need to find the right balance, right? So I'm going to try to find a setting in between. I'm going to go for maybe 320. Let's try. As for the saturation slider, obviously if you play with it, your colors are going to be either more or less saturated, but the default values are usually fine. Now it seems like we arrived at a similar result in terms of what we had before. It does look like the mask we used for the noise reduction affected our main object though. That's pretty scary to me. I don't think I want that actually. No, the image is way smoother, yes, but at the same time, look at the difference in terms of details in the objects. So I might not actually do that. It's tough. I think our mask was not good for to protect all these values here. There's just so much gas everywhere. It's really difficult to make a good mask. But if we compare the two, I'm tempted to just ignore this and go back to the other image. Even though the noise is insane here compared to here. Look at that. Look at the difference.